Hi, this is Robert Kiyosaki, and you're listening to Capital Hacking. This is the most important thing you can listen to today.
Hello, this is Josh McCown from Renault Winery Resort, and we have a very important announcement from Matt Sorensen about Learn and Grow, August 24th. Take it away, Matt.
I'm Matt Sorensen from Directed IRA. I'm excited to be the keynote speaker at the Learn and Grow event for Accountable Equity on August 23rd and 24th. You've got to book your tickets and get registered. I'm excited to be there and to meet you in person.
Here's the one.
I have a dream.
With great power comes great responsibility.
I can do this all day.
This is it. Don't get scared now.
They may take our life, but they'll never take our freedom.
Cinderella story out of nowhere.
It's in the hole. That the only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
Capital Hacking begins in 3, 2, 1.
Hello, my name is Josh McCown. Welcome to Capital Hacking, and welcome to Mindset Monday. You know, the mind and the power of the human capital is something we go through and journey with each entrepreneur we talk to each week. And in episode 308, we met Kevin Taylor, the gentleman who was a banker, an entrepreneur for 30 years, built a bank, and now is an elite EOS implementer. Today begins his journey as a teacher, where he's going to pull out the kernels, the gold, the nuggets, and share them with you and I on how we can make some powerful choices today to change our trajectory of the rest of our lives. So let us know how you like it. Check out episode 308 and find out more about Kevin and dig in deep. Let's go.
Welcome to the Capital Hacking Podcast. I am your host for today, Kevin Taylor. And when we talk about capital, there's different forms of capital. I tend to talk about mental capital. And so mental capital revolves around your mindset and the psychology behind things. The information I get for my shows is through other podcasts that I listen to, books that I read. Occasionally I'll grab something off of a documentary. And in today's episode, I want to talk about an interview that I came across on the Hal Elrod podcast. The actual name of the podcast is Achieve Your Goals with Hal Elrod. And he was interviewing a lady by the name of Mary Morrissey. And I had never heard of Mary Morrissey, even though she's been in the personal development space for over 40 years. And so I started listening to it, and she had so many great nuggets in here. I'm going to share those with you. But let me give you a little bit of background on Mary. So over those 40 plus years that she's been in the personal development space, Mary's helped tens of thousands of people achieve their dreams. She's addressed the United Nations 3 times, co-convened meetings with the Dalai Lama, and has met with President Nelson Mandela in South Africa. When she started her personal development journey, it wasn't widely known that your thoughts impact your health. So there were a few people that talked about this, but it wasn't widely known. So the people in the self-development space were people like Napoleon Hill in his book Think and Grow Rich, and Earl Nightingale in The Strangest Secret, which I discussed last week in episode 342. So in fact, one of the most interesting things I got from this interview with Mary was when she was looking for the book As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. This was back in the 1970s. She was told that she had to go to a cult bookstore in Portland and was told that she could find it in the category under witchcraft books. And so I just thought that was so funny. It's funny how things have changed over the last 50 years. So anyway, that's a little bit about her kind of highlight reel there. And let me tell you a little bit about her background back when she was in high school. So in 1966 is when she was a junior in high school. She was a class vice president, the lead in the school play. She was on the drill team, the dance team. She was homecoming princess. So she had it all. She had a great junior year. She had a boyfriend she'd been dating for 4 years. He had just gone off to college. And then when he came home for spring break, she got pregnant and then decided to get married. So when her principal found out that she got pregnant and was married in that order, he told her that she could no longer go to his high school. Remember, this was back in 1966. So Mary was sent off to a boarding school for pregnant girls and delinquent boys for her senior year. She also lost her 3 best friends because her best friend's parents decided that they shouldn't hang out anymore. And after her son was born, when her son was 7 months old, she had kidney failure and was given 6 months to live. And this was in July of 1967. And so she had officially hit rock bottom. So that's where I'm going to pick up the story. And so Mary's in the hospital with this terminal kidney disease. And while she's in the hospital, she was introduced to a woman who identified herself as the visiting chaplain and offered to pray for her. So after the prayer, she told Mary, everything is created twice. And so everything you see in this world has to first be a thought before it can be a thing. So she encouraged Mary to think of a life if she were to beat this terminal kidney disease, what it would look like. And it was similar to a vivid vision. And she taught her how to think differently. So Mary then discovered what's going on inside of us has a direct correlation to what's going on outside of us. So, spoiler alert, she survived the kidney disease, goes on to live a very fulfilled life. Currently, as of this recording, she's 75 years old, and she dropped some really good nuggets in this interview. And so I've got about 12 takeaways. I'm going to share all of them with you today. So bear with me on this. And so it starts off with thoughts impact our health. We have a spiritual side to our nature as well as a human side. And I mentioned this earlier. What's going on inside of us has a direct correlation to what's going on outside of us. So in the same way that if we have a TV that's got 100 channels, if we don't know how to use the remote and change the channel, we can get stuck on something like CNN, and all you have is constantly negative news that's in your life. And so the thought patterns that we are thinking from create a trend that we begin to operate on. It's dictative and predictive of the results that we are going to have. If we want to change the results, we need to know how to change what's going on inside of us. That was number one. So number two is when you give up mentally, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. And so this reminds me of a saying I've heard a lot. If you think you can or you cannot, you are correct. Number three is statistics only apply to groups. They never apply to an individual, and the individual is supreme. So what I mean by that, if someone says the odds are against you and you've got a 2% chance to survive, choose to be in that 2% and not the 98%. Number four is you have two things that you're responsible for: the thoughts that you think and the actions that you take. The thoughts that you think generate the first creations of themselves, which is feeling. If you're feeling anxious, you can be absolutely sure that you've been thinking of thoughts that have a fear base in them. Number five talks about infinite intelligence. And so she says, infinite intelligence is at the center of everything we do. Like equals like. So you can't think this thought and have that result. So if you're feeling bad about yourself, you're going to create less results. This also speaks to the power of affirmations. So when you say something like, I'm going to beat this cancer and live a long and happy life, there is no other option, you end up beating the odds. And side note, that affirmation was actually Hal Elrod's affirmation when he had cancer and he beat it. Number six is, it was actually a question that Hal asked. He said, what do highly successful people do when they face adversity? So Mary answered this, and she said, there's atmosphere and there's thoughtmosphere. And so there are things that you can change and things that you can't change. When something happens that you think is bad, the first step is just to step back and say, okay, it's here. I can't change that. And then the only thing that you can control are the thoughts and your actions. So what are you going to think about this? So a lot of us are familiar with the Napoleon Hill quote, in every adversity, there's a seed of equal or greater benefit. And people repeat this quote all the time. I'm one of those guys. I repeat that quote all the time, but miss the next part that says, but like a seed, it has to be found and planted and nurtured and grown and harvested. All of that is a process. So don't let something bad happen to you and not capture the good that will come from it. Get curious about what good can come from this.
Hi, this is Melanie McCallan. Josh and I are just so grateful for the many investors who have already joined us at Accountable Equity. Accountable Equity is so much more than a capital group. It's really a community of accredited investors that want to learn and grow together. I just want to personally invite you, if you want to find out more about this type of investment and see if it's right for you and your family, please visit us at accountableequity.com. You can fill out the contact form. We'll get right back to you and see if this is a great fit for you and your family. We'd love to meet you. We look forward to learning about you. Please visit us at accountableequity.com.
Hey, this is Matt Sorensen, author of the Self-Directed IRA Handbook, CEO at Directed IRA. You're listening to the best podcast, the Capital Hacking Podcast.
Number 7 is dreams and goals are not the same. They are different. And this actually started because Hal Elrod said, so dreams and goals are often synonymous. And Mary goes, I actually don't think they are. And so she goes on to explain. She said, goals are things where you know what to do, but you just don't, or you just haven't done it. And so an example would be like getting fit. And so to get fit, you work out and you eat better. It could be as simple as changing your habits to get the results that you want to meet your goal. But a dream, by definition, is something that you would really love to have, but you have no idea on how to obtain it. And so the example they give is like to be free of a disease. And so this is, Mary goes on to say, this is what you should build your vision on. You build your vision on dreams and not goals. And I'll go on to explain that in one of these other takeaways. So number 8, she mentions there are 4 areas of life where we're having results, and it's up to us. So right now we're having results in health. So the first one is health results. That's typically based on what we eat and how active we are. We're also having relationship results. This is how we show up for others. We also are having results around our vocation. It's what do you do with your time and talent, and how fulfilling is it, or how fulfilling is it not? And then we also have freedom with time and money. It's how constrained are you at the end of the month? And so those are the 4 areas where we're having results: health, relationship, vocation, and freedom with time and money. Number 9 is life itself is ever seeking a freer, fuller, expanded version of itself to be more of itself. And so let me explain. So she gives this example. She said, life is pressing through a blade of grass to be more of itself. It's pressing through the edges of a tree to be more of itself. The same life energy is moving into and through us, seeking to express more life. The difference, though, between a blade of grass, a tree, and you and me is that a blade of grass has no will to stop that. Humans, on the other hand, can say yes or no, and when we thwart life, it doesn't stop flowing. It just creates signs and signals of unlived life. So this is what we call problems, difficulties, challenges versus shaping a vision. And so life in you sends 2 signals. How it's identified in humans is a longing and discontent. So you need to shape it into a vision that you have no idea on how you're going to get there, but infinite intelligence does know how. Once you set a possibility, the how downloads. And so speaking of vision, it brings me to number 10. And it says, so write your vision 3 years out, not 1 year, write it at least 3 years out. And so once you start thinking in 1 year out, your subconscious knows what you can do in a year, and it will create a more constrictive version. So think 3 years out. Your vision has no reference to what you don't want. It only has a reference to what you do want. So when you're writing your vision, you need to design your vision on what you do want in the present tense, but do it 3 years out. So for example, if you were to say today is July 8th, 2027, then you would go on and you would describe your life in a way that you're so connected to it that you can describe it as a living reality. Again, that's all around vivid vision. Number 11 is the thing that holds people back the most is a limiting belief in themselves. You are your own worst critic. So number 12, let's wrap it up. Number 12, keep yourself in a trend of new thinking and feelings will follow. Feelings are the reflection of the state of mind that you are in. They are not generative, they are reflections. That's why affirmations are so important. So Tony Robbins has a quote, just something like, where focus goes, energy flows. And where energy flows, whatever you're focusing on grows. So remember that everything is created twice, once in your thoughts, the second is in your reality. That's all I've got for you this week. If you like what you heard, come back next week for more mental capital around mindset and psychology. If you love what you heard today, give us a 5-star rating and review. Would love to hear from you. But until next time, ask yourself, what can you do to create a better mindset and add value to the world around you?
Damn straight. We just got
buddy.
We got to the end of another great show. And everyone listening right now, you're the family and friends. Thanks for staying till the end.
That was so fun. And hey, hit the like, hit subscribe. We're here to serve you guys. That's why we're doing this show. Josh is not paying me. I'm doing this off of my quote unquote sweat equity because we want to make a difference in your life. And then that ripple effect will continue to touch the world.
Hey, amen, brother. Please check us out on capitalhacking.com, all the social media threads. And yes, I know you've probably already sent this episode to one of your best friends. Thank you. We love you. Just go right into your iPhone, hit the plus symbol. We'll talk to you later. See you next week.
Share.